G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, I know why you are here, but we're going to talk about something positive first, okay? First of all, congratulations to Rabbit, who's finally won a Super Rugby after his best mate, Quade Cooper, winning it in 2011. Now, obviously, winning back in the day in 2011 against the South Africans and, you know, the Crusaders at home. Is a different thing from winning for the Crusaders in Christchurch in a Super Rugby Pacific where the South Africans are no longer involved. But hey, 14 years later, this is still a great achievement for James O'Connor. And yeah, I'm sure he'll be very proud of this moment. He got onto the field for about 3 minutes. But hey, that is good enough. You got the trophy. Congratulations, my man. And yeah, moving on to the next thing. I think he's currently looking at potentially going to Racing 92, they're looking at getting a refund from Owen Farrell, sending him back to the Saracens, and then they are looking at new 10. So O'Connor might be looking at a option there, or potentially returning to Australia for some game time here in the Super Rugby team. But hey, congratulations, well done. Definitely a good finish to that. Great, I guess. What do you call it? Feathering your cap for your rugby career. Now let's talk about why you are here for this video. I can't believe they did this. I actually could not believe they did this again. So this time the Crusaders. Every time I say something, people say I'm biased. People say I'm still salty about the Reds losing like 3 weeks ago. Look, I'm just gonna point out the facts. You can decide whether this is cheating or not, okay? And you can decide what is happening because I'm actually, not sure what is going on here with the HIA. So the HIA law stipulates that a player must be returned before 12 minutes of actual time, right? So let's just zoom in right here. 12 minutes of actual time, not game time, actual time of conducting a HIA. So if you can't get back on the field before 12 minutes, even if you pass the HIA, you are still no longer allowed to replay because it's deemed that's too much of an advantage, right? You've been off, taking too long of a break. There needs to be a limit on when you are or not allowed to come back. So 12 minutes is the deadline, right? Because obviously you don't want people to take a 20-minute break and come back on, right? So 12 minutes is the absolute deadline of people returning to play, but that law just does not seem to apply to the Crusaders in a consistent basis. So this was something that happened. There was an incident that happened in round 9 actually, where I talk about this in my other video earlier this week. Taha Kemena came off the field 25 minutes in the game clock, 15 minutes before halftime, and he returned first thing in the second half. So he was off the field by game time, 15 minutes, plus the 10 minutes halftime break. So he was off the field for a 25-minute break. No matter how you cut and slice it, you can say that, hey, it's 12 minutes game time. It's past that as well. 15 minutes game time has got gone. He did not return in time, but still was allowed to come back onto the field. So that was something I pointed out earlier this week. So today, this is a bit of a head scratcher for a number of reasons. So David Havilli made a high tackle and he was sent off with a yellow card, as you can see right here. And as a part of that, it was a head-on-head collision. As a part of this yellow card, he was taken off for an HIA. Now, 10 minutes later, we got the commentaries tells everyone that David Havilli had failed his HIA. And therefore, Dallas McLeod was substituted for David Havilli as a result. So that's the yellow card, 10 minutes gone. Dallas McLeod comes on. Fair enough. And then 4 minutes later, Havilli is back on. So even if he had a HIA and he passed, and this was just a mistake, he still was off the field for longer than the 12 minutes allowed actual time. And he's actually off the field. At this point, he was actually off the field for about 15 minutes because the game was, there was a few scrum resets and, the referee was stopping the clock throughout this 12 minutes or this 13 minutes of actual game time. And he was actually off about 15 minutes and then still was let out back onto the field. So, let me know what is going on. Now you might say, okay, there might be, maybe there's something wrong with the guy keeping the clock, whatever, right? Now, what is really interesting to me is immediately as he came back onto the field, he got brutally hit on the head almost immediately, and he was not taken off for HIA after that. You're telling me they have a mouth guard that suggests that's supposed to detect when a player gets the tiniest whiplash hit in the head, and then he cops it straight onto the chin here, and he was no longer required for HIA afterwards. Right? So, yeah. Somebody, explain this one to me. I do not know, so let's watch this at full speed. Bam! Cop it right on the chin. No need for HIA. Just play on. So, yeah. I don't know what's going on with the HIA protocols at the Crusaders. You let me know your thoughts. And just a reminder, 12-minute actual time. David Havilli returned. After sending off at 11 minutes, returned 24 minutes game time, okay? 13 minutes game time had passed since he was sent off with the yellow card and HIA, and he returned anyway. No problem, guys. No problem there. So, anyway, let's talk about the actual game. Outside of the, HIA shenanigans that I couldn't believe my eyes, I'm seeing it again, let's talk about what actually did well for the Crusaders. That's better than the Chiefs. So the scrum was absolutely outstanding. Fletcher Newell, he had some early dominance and got the referee in his mind that whenever the scrum collapsed, it was because the Chiefs were under pressure. To some extent, that is correct. And Fletcher Newell did really well throughout the game, keeping his elbow up, making sure that he wasn't the first one on the ground. And there was literally a couple of scrums where I thought it was 50-50. I thought it could have gone against the Crusaders. Like, you can see that Fletcher Newell kind of like just clearly looked like he slipped, but the referee had it in his mind early on due to, putting the right image into the referee's head. The referee had the dominance in the scrummaging, and that, again and again and again, the Crusaders getting those penalties against the Chiefs. Even in the second half, he just got even more brutal. And the whole game essentially came down to the difference between the scrum and the Chiefs was not able to capitalize when the opportunities presented themselves. David McKenzie, unlike Fletcher Newell, who stepped up another step when his team needed him the most, David McKenzie, once again, we talk about this almost like every other week, once again could not handle the pressure. He missed 4 kicks this game? Just non-existent the whole game. And one goal kick, and two goal kicks. One conversion and one penalty. This penalty, again, pretty much right in front. Not that far back, maybe 40 meters back. Something that should be a gimme for an international test level number 10. Missed. He didn't even quite make the distance as well. Kind of fell short. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Damien McKenzie, and he's copped a few hits from the Crusaders, but just once again not able to cope with the pressure, with not able to rise to the occasion, and that's at this point. If you're an All Black fan, do you really still want Damien McKenzie to be the starting 10? I feel like at this point, Beauden Barrett's definitely the starting 10. And then maybe you'd rather have Rayhan or someone like that to be on the bench. Because Damian McKenzie, you just don't know what he's going to deliver. If you were to ask me that Ray Hana actually had a better consistency across the whole season, despite not being an All Black, than Damian McKenzie. Damian McKenzie's, every player has a bit of up and down, but Damian McKenzie's downs are like not even worth a starting fly half level. And that's the performance I think I saw tonight. The performance he put out tonight was not worthy of a starting 10 for a Super Rugby finals game. That's what I saw tonight. Like, non-existent in terms of creating space. Just no leadership, especially late in the game. It's like right at the end, the Chiefs had about 8 minutes to try to score a try, plenty of time, and they were just like lost the plot, just randomly kicking the ball away. And as I know it wasn't Damian McKenzie doing those kicking, but as the fly half, you need to like giving clear instructions to players around you. How are we gonna exit our 22 and build this into a penalty or something, or build this into a position where we can potentially score a try. The fact that the ball was just kicked away multiple times randomly for absolutely no reason inside their own half for the Chiefs tells me that Damian McKenzie at the number 10 did not give any instructions to the players around him. Because they didn't know what they were doing. Right? That's why, I don't know, let's just kick it out, just put it, grab it through and see what I just put it up and chip over the top and see if we can get anything out of that. Let's just roll the dice. 80 meters out. Who cares? Just roll the dice and see what happens. Right? That's what I saw. And that is because Damian McKenzie was not taking the initiative as the 10. And yeah, I was really disappointed. Let me know your thoughts on that. And in addition, there was a lot of just errors overall from the Chiefs. Not patient enough. Lots of botched opportunities. Handling errors. Line-out throws not getting stolen and spoiled. And that just compounded with the scrummaging. Every time there's a scrum, it's just the demolition derby from Fletcher Newell. And yeah, it just snowballed. There were opportunities for the Chiefs to win this game, and they just did not quite get there. Did not quite have the patience to continue with the pressure, and did not quite get there to win the match. And congratulations to the Crusaders. I thought they definitely played a better game tonight. Credit has to be given for that effort for a lot of the players out there tonight doing their best, including David Havilli, actually. He actually played really well despite the suspicious HIA. But hey, you let me know what your thoughts on that. But yeah, Angus Garner was really clear tonight overall. And I don't know what else to say, but is Damian McKenzie going to be starting 10 for the All Blacks? Or is he even... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what is the problem with Damian McKenzie, because when he's good, he's like untouchable. When he's bad, he's like unplayable. So, yeah. Anyway, let's have a look at the match stats of the game before I ramble on for like 3 hours. Crusaders, 273 run meters to the Chiefs, 232. 146 carries for the Crusaders, 115 for the Chiefs. We've got 15 turnovers against the Crusaders, the Chiefs 16. 146 tackles made by the Crusaders, 14 missed tackles. I must say the Crusaders' error rate is really, really low, especially in the final, coming into the final rounds. And that's something that made it really difficult for the opposition, because you're not making mistakes. Like, especially a team like the Chiefs that, I talk about this all the time, has a bit of a habit of relying on oppositions, giving away stupid penalties to kick 3 points. And when the Crusaders weren't giving away those silly penalties, the Chiefs are kind of like, oh, what do we do? And that's the mentality they're building to themselves over the season, right? 10 missed tackles for the Crusaders out of 146. 13 missed tackles for the Chiefs out of 207. 40 kicks in play for the Crusaders. 33 for the Chiefs. 1 penalty goal missed by the Crusaders. 1 penalty and 1 conversion missed by Damian McKenzie. 1,162 kick meters for the Crusaders. 968 kick meters for the Chiefs. We've got 14 lineouts for the Crusaders, 3 lost. 10 lineouts for the Chiefs, 2 lost there as well. So neither teams were 100% great there. But the scrum was the real difference for the Crusaders. A scrum, 1 scrum penalty, 4 scrum for the Chiefs, 1 scrum loss, 4 scrum for the Chiefs, no loss. And the penalty count against the Chiefs would have been so high. Like, yeah, there was just so many penalties against the Chiefs from the scrum straight along. So the fact that it says that the Crusaders lost one scrum is actually not a realistic reflection of what actually happened out there in terms of scrum battle. There's the thing, the Crusaders don't give away that many penalties, 7 overall. The Chiefs don't give away that many penalties themselves, 7 overall. But the fact that the Chiefs' strategy for the whole year relied on poor teams giving away stupid penalties and kicking 3 points, the Chiefs just didn't really have that much opportunities once those free penalties, kickable 3 penalties, were taken away from them. There was one yellow card against the Crusaders for, what was it? It was, for the Havilli head-on-head contact, and that was the end of that. So only 2 penalties the Crusaders considered inside their own half. So even if you attempt both of those kicks, that's only 2. That's only 6 points. And the Chiefs missed one. So yeah, that's really not ideal when it comes to Clayton McMillan and their strategy. Let's have a look at the recap of the game. So yeah, 11 minutes into the game, the both teams were kind of going back and forward, pushing each other. Havilli, head-on-head contact, sent off with a yellow card. 13 minutes into the game, there was a line out for the Chiefs from the yellow card. Nice little offload. Jacobson, shoulder-to-shoulder, pop pass to Dyer. Crashed over the try line. 7 points to 0 for the Chiefs. 16 minutes into the game, what's his name? The Crusaders had a penalty 50 meters out from Fletcher Newell. Massive scrum. It looked like he slipped, but the referee gave him the benefit because he showed the referee enough to suggest that the collapse was caused by the Chiefs, and the 50-meter penalty was missed. 24 minutes into the game, like I said, Havilli came back despite saying that he failed the HIA. 24 minutes, that was 26 minutes into the game. The Crusaders had a penalty for themselves. They went for the line out. This was still quite far out, like 22 meters out, 20 meters out. And Cody Taylor looked up. Nobody's there defending the train tracks. They just ran straight through for the try. 7 points to 7. 28 minutes into the game, there was another. This was what you just saw there with David Havilli getting himself smacked in the head. The ball was kicked behind, and David Havilli made the effort to chase the ball down and get the turnover for a 3-point kick for the Crusaders. 10 points to 7. 34 minutes of the game, another big scrum for the Crusaders to kick another one. 13 points to 7. And just before half time, the Chiefs built some pressure. There was repeated penalties in front of for the Crusaders. Eventually, the ball went out to Stevenson, who grounds the ball into the corner. There was a bit of a discussion about whether Scotty Barrett was taken out beyond the ruck, creating a gap. Well, Scotty was in there looking at jackling the ball, so he had to be cleaned out. Otherwise, this could have been a turnover. So I thought the referee made the right decision. And the referee said, was he pushed back too far? You could potentially argue with that, but I think that, yeah, to me, I thought it was a bit difficult one because it looked like a gap was created because Scotty was, taken out, but the try was not scored directly because of that. So yeah, 50-50 there. So second half, 53 minutes in, another penalty to the Chiefs. Damien McKenzie takes the 3 and he missed. This was pretty much in front, not that difficult of a kick. It was short as well. 66 minutes in the game, there was an interesting try that was disallowed against the Crusaders. So I think it was Rayhana, or maybe it was the number 9. So there was basically the ball was like turned over, ripped off, but in front of the Chiefs try line, and Damien McKenzie got the ball in front of his try line, and then he was basically tackled by Rayhana, and the ball was turned over immediately, whilst Rayhana was standing on the wrong side of the rock, and the ball was ripped out, and then the Crusaders scored a try. To me, I thought if you're the tackler, you are allowed to just go for the ball if there was no ruck. But they said that it was offside. But so if there's no ruck, there is no offside, right? I thought it was a bit confusing because, yes, he was in offside position, but there was no ruck because he was the tackler. He got up, and then the ball was ripped out of Dave McKenzie immediately. So yeah, let me know. I don't know how to explain that one, but the referee and everybody seems to agree that was offside. So no points there. After this, Rona put a huge kick on Anor. 70 minutes into the game, there was another scrum penalty for the Crusaders. Yeah, and this is when things really started to hurt. Another 3 points kicked for the Crusaders, 16 points to 12, and then still with 10 minutes left, plenty of time for the Chiefs to score one try. They don't have to convert it, just score one try to win the game. Even if you just kick a penalty, you still have time to get another penalty on. There's still 10 minutes left, but the Chiefs just seem to have lost the plot at this point. They were just like randomly kicking the ball away, like inside their own half, just like randomly like grubber kicking the ball over the tops, and and kicking it out on a full. Just really just to me, it's just poor communication from the 10. That's a result. Like no one knows what to do because there wasn't any instructions from the playmaker. Let's just kick it away and see what happens. And and that just leads to the Crusaders building more pressure and eventually winning the game. 16 points to 12. The final score. I think the Crusaders could probably kick another penalty at the end there to take the scoreboard up to 19 points to 12, but they were happy to just take the win. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next week for the news. And let me know your thoughts about the HIA incidents, and thanks for watching. Cheers.